Okay, so Jeannie's not here.
Jared.
I'm sorry?
Jared.
So if Jeannie doesn't show, you can call Jared up.
Okay.
Might be
You
fun
might
time
to
now.
go with the big guys.
Go.
You are streaming and recording now,
Okay.
just to let you know.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Jared? Okay, we ready? Okay, it's 5:30 p.m., January 15th, 2026, and welcome to the Planning and Zoning Board meeting of Tequesta, Florida. Meg, will you call roll, please?
Leslie Dasher.
Here.
Teresa Maggio. Here. Elizabeth Shower. Sherry Ambrose. Here. Jean McEldowney. Marisa Fury.
Here.
Jerry Gaylord.
Here.
Fred Lucier.
Thank you.
Here.
Okay, and we'll move on to item 1, the previous meeting minutes of November 20th, 2025. Has everybody had a chance to look it over? Or, I'm sorry, the agenda for tonight, I'm sorry. And how do you want to?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and we'll move on to the previous meeting minutes of November 20th, 25. Has everybody had a chance to review? Are there any changes?
Actually, can I ask one question? Did we amend the vote totals? That was the only question.
Did we
that I
amend
had.
what?
That has been amended and it's shown in
in the ones that are
in the one that's online right now.
I'm good.
Okay, so how did you want to go forward with the previous meeting minutes for November 20th? I'm sorry?
Make motion to approve.
Seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Sorry.
Ready? Oh, okay. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 2, the Infrastructure Surtax Oversight Committee, discussion of the 2025 Infrastructure Surtax Annual Expenditure Report. Jay?
Sure. Okay, so previously, does this work?
I think you might just be on.
Is mine just
It
not
sounds like Dasher's is working.
Yes.
There we go. Sorry for the awkwardness. So, historically, the village has had a separate meeting as an infrastructure surtax committee. As we talked about last year, we've created it so that the infrastructure surtax committee and the local planning agency meetings are held within the PZB. So you will here are going to be the infrastructure surtax committee within the PZB meeting. And your role here is essentially to overlook the village's annual infrastructure surtax expenditures. So in fiscal year 2025, we actually received $631,990. We had $28,000 of investment income and expended $46,386 on Tequesta Drive bridge improvements, that is engineering plans for a future Tequesta Drive bridge project. We have retained $613,926 in reserves, which is going to be expended in the upcoming fiscal year on the Tequesta Drive bridge project. Just a quick overview of the infrastructure sale tax status right now. So it actually sunsetted on December 31st of 2025. When it was initially approved by a voter referendum in 2016, the surtax was scheduled to end within 10 years or sooner once $2.7 billion was collected. the $2.7 billion mark was met, and in 2025, that was the last year. So it wrapped up a little bit earlier. So starting at January 1st of 2026, everybody will be paying a slightly less sales tax in Palm Beach County. So has been some talk of another surtax coming back in the future. I think it's going to be a little bit more transportation focused. The county's doing a big countywide transportation plan right now, and there's a kind of thought that there will be a referendum to fund a lot of major transportation projects. That's kind of the big topic in the county right now. So we'll see what happens there. But the county's transportation plan is supposed to be done sometime this year in 2026. For fiscal year 2026, our fiscal year ends on September 30th. So because of that, the fiscal year 2025 funds being approved are dollars that were received between October 1st, 2024 and September 30th of 2025. We will actually still receive some additional surtax money from October 2025 through December 31st, 2025. That will be included in fiscal year 2026. So there will still be another surtax review next year. As I said before, we had $613,926 in reserves. That amount combined with what we expect to receive from October 1st, 2025 through December 31st will be used for the Tequesta Drive Bridge Improvement Project, and that's expected to be around $855,000, and that is going to be going out to bid fairly soon. And with that, that is my presentation. If you are going to make a motion, or the motion here should be that the village has expended its infrastructure surtax dollars
in accordance with the requirements of state statute.
Okay.
I'm happy to answer any questions. We usually have a public works director or finance director here to go over what projects we did, but because this year it was really just design of the Tequesta Drive project, I kind of gave them the night off. But I can try to answer any questions you have.
I'm just curious about what is the Tequesta Bridge project that's this expensive?
I should have known that question was coming. I think there are some structural issues that need to be cleaned up. It's not an unsafe bridge, but I think there's just some things that are being done to kind of shore it up. But that's the extent of my knowledge on it.
So proactive.
I've seen some of the
Oh, just a minute, please.
Will the bridge be closed?
Just a minute, please. Just a minute, please. Okay, that's everything?
Yep,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay, is there any questions for the board? Okay, and opening the floor to public comment. If you'll come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, please.
Name's Jim Keel.
Could you please come
Should it be
to,
closed or is it just-
sir, can you please
If you
come
could
to
go
the
to the podium
podium?
so we could hear you. Sorry.
And state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, my name's Jim Keelty. I live at 191 River Drive. The only question I have is the bridge being closed? Because it's a new bridge, isn't it?
Fairly new, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the intent is to close it. They'll keep it open during construction.
But it's a new bridge, isn't it?
Fairly new.
There's just improvements happening to it. So it's $855,000, right? It's not a major renovation of the bridge.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? Okay, closing the floor to public comment. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the Tequesta Village surtax is in accordance with state statute. Is that good enough? Yep.
That's good.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, and moving on to agenda item number 3, SPM 08-25, application from Tequesta Country Club for a site plan modification for site improvements and landscape enhancements at the current Tequesta Country Clubhouse site, located in the R-OP Recreation Open Space Zoning District. The proposed use of the project will not change The property is situated at 201 Country Club Drive, Tequesta, Florida.
Chair, item number 3 is a quasi-judicial application. So that being said, I need to swear any individuals who plan to give testimony regarding this item. So if you're here this evening and plan to speak about this item, I need to swear you in at this time. So if you could please stand with me, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury and the laws of the state of Florida to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony this evening?
I do.
Very good. You may be seated. I will also ask members of the board if you have had any ex parte communication with the applicant to disclose it at this time.
None.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. And Meg, are you presenting this?
I'll be presenting after
Okay.
the applicant.
Okay. And if you can state your name and address for the record, please.
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Zach Cesare. I'm with Cutler and Hearing in Jupiter. I am the agent on behalf of Tequesta Country Club. And just for introductions, we do have many reps from the club itself. We do have the general contractor with Black Diamond, Ryan. And we do have from our office, Cutler and Hearing, we have Ms. Lori Hood and Nicole Plunkett, the president of Cutler and Hearing, in attendance tonight. So very excited to be here. I know we've been in front of you a few times now, starting with the land use and then the site plan for the maintenance buildings. So tonight is the final product, which is the site plan for the clubhouse, and I'll skip ahead here. So in front of you, just to put it formally, you have a motion to make on the site plan for the clubhouse and cart barn, and then you have a motion to make on a special exception, which a clubhouse is just permitted by special exception application that was in front of you. So the building that we're proposing, and I'll show you that in a second here, but the building is actually the same size, just improved functionality and splitting up the massing. So we have the clubhouse, a breezeway that will connect to the cart barn instead of everything kind of smushed together as you see on your screen here. So here's a representation of our proposed site plan. So you can see where the building has shifted. It's shifted to the left on your screen, but really in reality that's southward. You can see the breezeway connecting to the cart barn. And we've modified the parking. I'll flip back here. If you notice the parking today on site, we have angled parking, which functions well. There's nothing wrong with angled parking, of course, but when you have head-in parking like we're proposing, it allows a lot more opportunity for interior landscape islands between parking spaces, landscape islands to cap parking rows. That's what we've added here on this site. And let me walk you through this image here. If you direct your attention to the tennis court area, the red and green, you can see our proposed plan, the black and white lines, on top of an aerial of the existing building. So that you can see where the building shifts over to the left. You can see where it's connected, and the cart barn basically remains in the same position as it is today. So going into a little more detail here on the site plan, we've included decorative pavers at the porte cochere at the grand entry. We've included that at the drop-off. That's of course an aesthetic appeal, but it also delineates the drop-off area from the general parking and drive aisle. And we've also included decorative pavers on the pedestrian crosswalks as well. I did mention the landscaping within the parking areas, and we have improved those landscape buffers, not only along Country Club Drive, but also on Golf Club Circle. And a note on the landscape plan to add to that, we've tried to preserve as much existing landscape that's out there today. So you can read my third bullet point there. Out of 126 existing trees, we've only removed 13 of those. And that's just a matter of getting the building in the correct place now. But of course, we've added to that. We've added more landscape. And the landscape that we did add is primarily native landscape, which just aligns. We wanted to do that strategically to align with the character of the building for the last 70 years. So this is a much better image. I like this picture much better. This is the front view looking from Country Club Drive. This building the proposed building is designed by Leo A. Daly Architects, very reputable firm. We've worked with them through many projects in Palm Beach County. So back a few years ago, when we first started thinking about how this clubhouse would look, we tossed around the idea of different heights. So the initial iteration, we had a much taller building. We collaborated with staff. We heard feedback from the village manager, from the residents. We decided to propose a one-story building. It's only 21 feet tall. A lot of residential districts allow for 35-foot tall residential buildings. So this is a very low-lying building. We have a coastal style of architecture. And again, I just will restate, the building is the exact same size. Building is the exact same size, just demolishing the old one, rebuilding the new one for improved functionality. Of course, we do need to talk about the building's relationship with the golf course. The primary image on this picture here is the cupola in the back. So we wanted something for a nice transition from inside the clubhouse to the golf course. We do have the driving range right back there. And somewhere where members and guests can lounge, a lounge area, bar area. So I think we really achieved that here. And visual harmony, I did include that in the slide, just because we wanted to achieve that, but that is also a requirement of your code. In your code for site plan criteria, it mentions visual harmony a few times actually. So I think we met and achieved that with this. It's a very nice image, and I'm very excited for this project. You can look at this next picture here. Inside the cupola, we do have coastal furniture with the bar area that I mentioned. Sorry, it's lagging really fast. Okay. So I mentioned the clubhouse, and then I did mention the breezeway, and what's connecting to that is the cart barn. There's an existing cart barn. All active members at the club have an assigned golf cart. So when they get to the club, an employee gets their cart for them. So that's what we are replicating here. We've replicated the architectural style we've proposed with the clubhouse. It's just under 12,000 square feet. And we do have some ancillary facilities inside that cart barn for our employees, such as restrooms and locker areas. Now I do want to touch on the construction parking plan. So this is all the temporary structures during construction. So what will we do with our employees that need to keep up with the day-to-day work for the club? So if you look at the image here, on the parking lot across the street, those two gray rectangles, and this is still a work in progress. We're trying to figure out the best solution for this plan. But we do have two temporary trailers. It's really the west side, but when you're looking at it, it's at the bottom of your screen here. Two temporary trailers for the few employees that the club has for administrative work, day-to-day work. The white dashed rectangle there is the cart storage tank. That will be the permanent cart storage once it's fully built, but that's a temporary cart storage tank. There's a green line at the far right-hand corner of your screen. That is a permanent landscape buffer that's proposed with the project. We're just going to build it early because of the sensitivity for this during construction. And if you look just above the permanent cart barn, there's another couple gray rectangles there. That is relocation for the temporary pro shop. We're relocating all of the product there, and then we will have two small restroom areas for our members and guests. So the site plan criteria, this application does need to meet a couple different things. So one, site plan criteria. Second is the special exception criteria. I won't dive into all the criteria, but we do meet it. I believe we actually exceed some of the criteria. I think your staff could agree, but we do meet all the site plan criteria based on the staff report. We meet the special exception criteria based on the staff report. So as I mentioned, the approval that you have, or the motion that you have in front of you, is to approve the new clubhouse for Tequesta Country Club. We need better functionality. It doesn't work very well right now for the amount of members that they have. That's a fixed member rate, by the way, 290. They're not expanding at all. Just a side note there, but of course this improves the internal circulation, enhances the landscape. And if I could touch on, this is my last slide here, timing. So we're still on the same construction timing schedule as we have shown you previously. So should this project be approved by Village Council, that will occur next month in February 2026. So following that, we will need to meet with staff, the building permit, or the building department, and of course, proceed with the construction, but we can anticipate about 20 months until this project is complete. Again, I mentioned that the general contractor is here, Black Diamond, very, very reputable contractor. They've done tons of projects over Palm Beach County, so they're very efficient and provide very high quality work. So Of course, our whole team is here again. I'm very happy to answer any questions. I will turn it over to Meg to fill you in on some of the additional details that I may not have covered. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board and our community. I'm going to go over Country Club Drive, the Phase 2 construction. I do have some very text-heavy slides, just kind of like a history of where we've been, but I'll start here. I think we're all familiar with the project site. It is, of course, in the heart of our village. It's been there since 1957, and this is a two-phase project. We are going to look at Phase 2, the main clubhouse. Here it is. The request is to renovate the main clubhouse and cart barn. We can see the location up there on the right. Phase 1 has already been approved unanimously by the Planning and Zoning Board and Village Council. Of course, remember Phase 1 was with the maintenance facilities and cafe. Prior to the site plan modifications coming through, the applicant did come forward with a future land use map amendment, and that was to provide consistency, make sure that we were all under the recreation open space zoning district. The Development Review Committee met in October of 25. They went through 3 rounds of comments with this project. There are currently no unresolved DRC comments at the time, and any items requiring additional information have been captured in the conditions of approval. To the right, you're going to see a list of items that we're focused on. We won't go through all of them, but there are a few that I'd like to touch upon. Site analysis, when it comes to the land use and zoning, the recreation open space, this project aligns with all of the criteria. So site organization, we've talked about how it's going to be sliding to the south. This allows for further distance from the residents to the north. You are going to notice with this proposed site plan, there are a couple of things that change. The retention pond is infilled. There is the removal of the tennis courts. You're going to get some designated golf cart parking and an increase in parking available on the site. So here are those changes. And then you're going to see the proposed site plan kind of phase on there. This is just an AI generated image, so it is not to scale. But we can see all of those items and how they change. So stormwater management, with the proposed infill of the current retention pond, the site required alternate means of stormwater management. The applicant proposes a transition from the retention pond to distributed drainage and an exfiltration system. This will meet, of course, the village stormwater standards. And to support this, the applicant has provided a drainage statement and conceptual. Parking, circulation, and mobility, they're all improved with this new proposed site plan. We do get the golf cart parking spaces. They've got nice details on that. Proposed bike racks. And one of the things that I did want to mention, that the overall parking supply is designated to meet the existing operational needs without increasing the approved intensity of the use. So you are going from 59 parking spots to 68, but it is not because of an increase of demand. East lot use limitations. Regarding the east parking lot, the applicant has confirmed that the parking area will not be utilized for activities or events. No proposed construction, no amplified sounds or changes to the hours of operation. This responds directly to items that were brought up at the beginning of this project, during the DRC review, and during Phase 1. The clubhouse is proposing new signage, so all of the old will go out. They're doing one entrance sign. It meets our code standards. A construction phasing plan is required. It's captured in the conditions of approval. Traffic analysis. A traffic equivalency statement was provided. The report concluded that there are going to be an increase of 0 daily trips, so there is no additional analysis needed. So landscaping enhancements. This was really designed to embrace the community. It is a residential area. I think that this landscape plan really shows that they care. It does provide a multi-layer landscape buffer separating the clubhouse and parking lot from Country Club Drive. The entrance points are landscaped with a variety of plants to provide some depth and diversity. and this is something else that I wanted to mention. Of course, we all love our trees in the village of Tequesta. The live oaks that are on Country Club Drive, planted in the Tequesta right-of-way, will not be impacted. The image on the bottom left shows the current live oaks, and then that red line is the kind of organic, curvy landscaping perimeter. Everything that happens in the landscaping plan takes place behind that line. So again, the trees will not be impacted. Here are some of the proposed landscape trees. Architecture, I think Zach did a great job covering that. It's coastal inspired. There's lots of decorative elements. They have their octagonal cupola as a main visual. Here are the proposed colors. And those colors do carry over to the cart barn. So there's no differences there. Let's see findings. The project has been reviewed by staff and the DRC. Staff finds the proposed improvements consistent with the applicable code and review criteria. There are no variances or waivers requested. No outstanding staff or DRC comments, and any additional information required has been captured in the following conditions of approval. So these 3 conditions of approval are the same ones that we saw in phase 1. This condition of approval is a new one. It was provided from the utilities engineer, David Cowan. Prior to utilities permit, the applicant must provide confirmation of water and wastewater capacity and coordinate with the Loxahatchee River District. The Planning and Zoning Board is being asked to review the project based on the criteria from 2282. And here is your criteria for review: harmony with other buildings, harmony with surroundings, facades, methods of design, inappropriate building styles, garish design, exterior forms, and the use of symbolic colors. And that is all I have for you tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Meg
Or the applicant.
or Mr. Cicero?
Yes.
And do we have any questions for either of them?
The only question I had was, you stated, Mr. Cicero stated that the structure isn't any larger than the existing structure, but I didn't know if that meant in terms of floor area, building, lot coverage, those sorts of things. And also, my only question was really what the height difference, I guess, between the existing structure and the proposed structure. I believe it was 21 feet 8 inches that he said, but I just wanted to see if there was a big difference in the height of the proposed structure versus the existing structure.
So area under air, and thank you for your question, I appreciate it. Area under air is the same square footage. It might be off by a couple of square feet, but generally is the same. The height is just under 22 feet, the proposed building. The current building is 1 story. What's the, do we know the height? I forget what it was. I think it's under 30 feet, for sure, under 30 feet.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Cicero?
I do have
Oh, Marie?
questions. I understand that you're increasing the number of parking spaces. Can you explain why?
To meet code, really. I appreciate the question, and there's a lot of nonconformities on site right now that don't currently meet code. So that was a big priority in this application. And that's really why the review process, I think, took so long, is because we needed to make sure, how do we make that work on site today that's currently non-conforming? How do we address all of these issues? And we've done that. So the parking is one of the non-conformities that we met, along with the landscape buffers, planting requirements, et cetera.
On page 23 in your narrative, that's on the PDF, so I'm not sure what your actual one is. You wrote that the landscape plan introduces, quote, additional landscape buffers and open lawn areas. And I was wondering where the new open lawn areas are.
That would be the
Is that the...
behind the clubhouse.
building.
Behind
Okay.
the clubhouse.
Okay, and is there, one thing I'm not sure of, because I couldn't quite tell, it looked like on your images today that there's a landscape screening on the country club's property along the property line behind the cart barn and the home on Golf Club Circle. But I didn't see that in our backup. And I was wondering if you could clarify whether they get a landscape buffer or if it's just grass there. There's
Yes,
a lawn
they do.
area. They do.
Yes, we're required to put a perimeter buffer anywhere on the site, so I apologize if that didn't reflect. Yes, it will.
I think it was actually cut off, so I'm not sure.
Okay, no problem.
Okay,
There's
but there's
a
one
buffer
that,
there.
so that it's on your property, not the screen is on the country club side.
Absolutely.
Good. And to make sure I understood correctly, the hedge along Country Club Drive, where the corner of the clubhouse comes nearest to the street, is 6 to 8 feet tall. I think it's the podocarpus.
Correct.
Okay, great. And finally, on the landscaping, I wanted to say that in the parking lot, I really appreciate that you put in the islands. I like the variety of trees you've got. I think that's a big improvement. I also wanted to say on the monument sign, I appreciate very much that the sign lettering and design is raised and carved and not plastic, which we were trying to get rid of in the village. On the lighting, your current site, I believe, has carriage lamps on the gate posts, and I was wondering if those are going to, any of those are going to stay. I know you're moving the entrance a little bit, or if there was plans to replace those. I couldn't tell from the. Sorry.
There's no lighting on top of them at all.
No. It's just uplighting. Okay.
Okay, so it's ground lighting. It's ground lighting.
Okay. And then I had another comment on the lighting, the parking lot lampposts. Those I don't think are, that's the one area where I don't think we're in harmony with the building that you've proposed or the neighborhood. I think that's what we've got is, or what you've got is a very utilitarian style. And I don't think since it is in front of your building that it doesn't fit very nicely with the building. So I guess I'd like to, these look to me like they belong in front of like more of a factory warehouse rather than in front of a nice big beautiful building that you're putting in. So I was hoping that maybe we could revisit those. I'm not sure because it wasn't clear if those were what FPL offered and that was the only option.
Absolutely. We are limited by FPL, the amount of options that they have, but we're certainly open to having that discussion. I think the club will be open to having that discussion with the type of lighting fixtures that we have in front of the clubhouse.
So my thought was the ones that are shown, I don't think they're on their picture, but if you look at the back side of your building, the renderings that were in the backup, you have the arched neck lighting that's on the building, and it would be nice to have something that was more cohesive with those.
Absolutely, I appreciate that feedback, and I do know that we are coordinating with FPL on the lighting in the parking lot.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm really not sure why their selection is fairly limited. I would think it would be expanded at some point, but everything behind the clubhouse we're not coordinating with FPL on, and a lot of it's existing as well too. So, but certainly open to having that discussion and strategizing on how we can make the lighting more compatible.
Yep.
That's absolutely.
Yeah, and I think actually this may be something for the village. Can we maybe talk to FPL about expanding the options for residents? Because frankly, especially the actual lights don't fit anywhere in the village, in my view. They have a couple lampposts. I think they were called Washington concrete in the backup that would be okay, but pretty much none of the rest of them would fit anywhere here.
Sherry, do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, let me know
We have
who you're
enough-
working with. I might be able to find another point of contact you could discuss with.
Great.
I work for African.
Right, and that's all that I had.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Okay, we'll open to public comment.
We do have public comment.
Mr. Osborne?
You'll state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Steve Osborne, and I live at 216 Country Club Drive, which is the first residential lot north of Tequesta Country Club parking lot that you've seen a moment ago. And the southern property line of my property is long, and it is also the northern property line of the TCC, what's called in the documents east lot. So we share that property line. The construction staging plan up until this evening that I was seeing in the advance packet was page 66 of 139, shows that the east lot would only be used for member parking and temporary cart storage. Recently, a project representative from Tequesta Country Club contacted me to explain the timing and the specific alterations they intend to make to the parking lot for the total 18 months of the Phase 2 development cycle to allow continued operation of the golf course throughout the entire reconstruction of the clubhouse. Those alterations include the placement of a large tent, which you've seen now, enclosed perhaps up to 8,000 square feet interior for some 70 to 80 golf carts and the cart staff necessary to maintain and prepare them for member use each day. I want to be a good neighbor here, and I recognize the need for the temporary cart storage tent. Many years ago, when the parking lot was fully expanded at that time, the club installed and maintained a visual barrier hedge along the common property line. It's now badly deteriorated, and I would ask, as a condition of any approval that you choose to send forward to the village council, that hedge be removed, replaced, and maintained by Tequesta Country Club with a better species that can keep a heavier growth at the 8-foot level and below, instead of what's happened is it's all toppy. Restore basically the view barrier between my property and the parking lot. The entire side of my property is the master bedroom, bathroom, patio, pool. It's right there, and it's 5 feet on the other side are parking bumpers that are also in the parking lot. So when this tent goes in, it'll be probably 15 feet or 20 feet farther away than that. And while I want to accommodate that tent, I don't want to stare at it every morning. So that would be my request. It sounds like the gentlemen have decided that they're going to do that anyway, so I appreciate that concession. More disturbing, however, is the previously undisclosed intent to place these 2 office administrative trailers, which I understand are some 54 feet long and 26 feet wide each, within the parking lot for use by the TCC accounting staff, food and beverage personnel, and other club staff. Obviously, these trailers will also require FP&L power connections, sewage connections, or pump out of effluent from tanks, and water connections. I strongly oppose the east lot placement of any other business operations or structures such as these 2 personnel trailers for the following reasons, and I'll be brief here. The east lot is comprised of 4 residential R1A single-family lots, and commercial administrative trailer structures and business operations aren't permitted uses in that zoning classification. So legally, we shouldn't be doing it, even on a temporary basis. Second, both the large cart storage tent and
Sir?
2 additional. I'm sorry, I can do this in about 45 more seconds if you'll indulge me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The 2 trailers and the cart would materially reduce the vehicle parking for the member usage, which was really the designed use of the interim process. Third, the Phase 2 project is scheduled for 18 months, and I'm told it won't begin until September of this year. That may seem temporary to some, but at my age, that seems pretty permanent. It's going to be 2 years before they remove these temporary facilities, whatever ends up on the lot. The tent, I see the need for that. The parking facilities, the personnel facilities and the trailers, I have a solution, a suggestion. It's not necessary to locate those 2 items there. They could easily fit in the T-box platform area on the west end of the existing driving range, not up by the clubhouse, but all the way at the other end. And they could fit in there right adjacent to the existing snack bar. The driving range and the east T-box platform could still be used. The solution would be less disruptive because there's already permanent operational restrooms available there, eliminating the need to pump effluent from the trailers, as well as the convenience of the food and beverage service at the snack bar. Also, there's easy access with a wide cart path from Country Club Drive down to the snack bar area that could be used for service, and also employee access by parking in the vehicle lot for Phase 1 and just taking a golf cart down there. In summary, I hope you will modify the P&Z recommendation to state.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
We
you,
do
sir.
appreciate your comments.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, before we answer any of Mr. Osborne's question, any other public comments? Okay, we will close the floor to public comments, but can we address Mr. Osborne's concerns with?
Sure, I don't know if,
Cicero.
yeah, I don't know if they want to come up, but the plan that's in your package it shows there being a temporary cart parking on the east parking lot, but it does not show the trailers that he was referencing. I think Tequesta Country Club was considering an alternative plan that did that. We kind of got word of it this week as well. And Dylan and I have spoke, and we actually think it's not even a permitted use because they're proposing temporary office uses in the R1A, and you can have some temporary construction related trailers if it's associated with the construction activity, but you can't have the actual office use. So they would be they're proposing to actually have some of the employees of TCC over there. And so our opinion is that we would not be able to actually even be able to approve that. So we don't think that's just something that won't even be able to be permitted.
Okay.
That's not included in tonight's.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
included tonight's. You can always make a condition of approval that ensures that happens. Just, if you want to provide some guidance to council and let them know kind of where your head's at, you're always welcome to do
Well,
something like that.
if it isn't allowed, then it's okay. And then, didn't we rezone the parking lots?
Everything was rezoned except the parking lots, and that was done explicitly to keep the.
From development?
Yeah, there's some concern from a lot of the residents there of encroachment of the club and club facilities into the residential community. So they're there now next to residential, but there's no, they've been there since the 50s. There's no further encroachment with this current project, but that would do that.
Okay, and then Mr. Osborne also asked about the hedge separating his visual view from his backyard to the cart tent that will be on that parking lot. And he said that he was told that they would replace that.
Yeah, and again, you can make that a condition of approval if you wanted to, because that east lot will be being used as temporary construction or temporary cart storage. So if the PZB wanted to, you could recommend that to council.
Can I ask a question about the hedge? What species were you planning on putting in there, and how tall?
Thank you. Clusia hedge, we were proposing a 6-foot hedge, but we can certainly make it taller if needed. And we are committed to replacing that. That was part of tonight's proposal as well.
Okay.
Would that be?
It would be terrific,
That would be-
Melissa, but it would be terrific if it could be the 8-foot height, because there's a drainage ditch sort of there, and
Oh,
if
I
you plant
see.
6, it's gonna feel like 4.
Okay.
Plant 8, it'll
Can
be
you-
just about right.
Can you
Thank
do 8 feet?
I'll defer to Jay on the code if we can.
Yeah.
We can commit to doing that, yes, if it's allowed.
Yeah, we have no restrictions on the height of shrubs, so you could do 8 feet, you could do 10 feet, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any last comments from the board?
Only other question would be, did we receive, I guess for Jay or Megan, did you receive any written support or objection letters?
No objection letters, no support letters either, but I know a lot of people in the community, do support the project. We've generally heard nothing but, good things about the project. I know a lot of people are happy that they kept it 1 story. I think that it was referenced here, but we'd seen some initial plans that was considering it being 2-story and even doing pickleball in that east parking lot. And so they have done a phenomenal job of responding to the community and, limiting to 1 story and keeping that east lot generally, pretty residential. So, nothing that we've heard.
Okay, well, it all looks very nice. Did a nice job. It'll be a long time coming, but it'll be worth it when it gets done. Okay, are there any conditions that the board chooses to put?
The only condition that I would hear, or what I see as relevant, would be ensuring that an 8-foot Clusia hedge is placed along the northern boundary. Is that correct? And also to give guidance to the council that the office and admin trailers are not located in the R3 district.
R1A.
R1A, sorry.
On that parking lot.
I'm usually not up here. But
I would like to add, I appreciate your willingness to work with us. If you could revisit the parking lot lighting to see if we can have something that's a little more cohesive with the building, that would be great. I don't think that needs to be a condition of approval, but
We could work with them
I
on
would
it.
like to see that changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
And the conditions from staff.
And whoever makes the motion, remember the four conditions of staff.
Four conditions.
and, I did have one question about this, conditions of approval from the staff. The maintenance of traffic plan, was that necessary?
Yeah, that's good to have because there is going to be a little bit of activity going between the east lot and the club, and there may be times when trucks are coming in. We want to ensure there's no disruption of traffic,
Okay.
and that our police department and public works department are ensuring that there's no traffic issues.
Okay, and then, can we just state as part of the motion to, the conditions of approval from the staff report? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So you want us to try, so I would like to make a motion for recommendation for approval of SPM 08-25, subject to the 4 conditions of staff approval, an 8-foot hedge, and the, I don't know how to say, like, confirming that there will be no uses that are not conforming to R1A in the east parking lot.
Very good.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
great. And any,
I think that's it.
That's it. We have no staff updates. We do have.
We do have public comment.
oh, we do.
Mr. French?
Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Thank you. Good evening, Jason French, 39 Willow Road. I'm also a council member for the village here. I'm not speaking on an issue this evening. I'm glad I came on a packed house for planning and zoning board meeting. When I first walked in, I was like, okay. No, I'm here. I want to thank all of you for the time and dedication on this board. You know, we don't get to talk regularly, and that's a good thing for a government process. But I've leaned on all of you for the last 2 years on many decisions you've made. And if we've agreed or disagreed, I got to hear a little bit more debate from more people in the neighborhood, different sides, different views. And you might not know this, but I kind of listen to you guys as a podcast when I'm driving into work or not. I catch up on the meeting. You know? Not the most exciting podcast, but I'm very appreciative of it because when I come into a meeting or I get a phone call from a resident, I've heard all of your views and debate as well, which just broadens my experience and things I can speak on. So I do want to, again, thank all of you. You do a phenomenal job up here. It doesn't go unnoticed, and you've made my job easier, and I think made the whole government as a more efficient process here in the village. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. French. Okay, and so no further comments.
Nothing from staff.
Make a motion to adjourn? Okay, all right.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Okay, thank you all. Yeah.